allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next meeting, we're gonna move the flag somewhere else.
Yeah,
We'll put it over here, we'll put it over there.
Well, you know, it's only recently that I went the right way, because I've always been over there, you know, it's for years, you know, so.
Okay, roll call.
Okay. Wilson.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Marty, yes, I'm here. Weaver. Here. Garber.
Here.
Farquhar.
Here.
Henley.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
And Dunsmore is absent.
Anybody has a copy of the agenda? Any changes or amendments to the agenda?
Actually, how about if I make a motion to excuse the absence of Dunsmore?
Oh, okay.
Support.
I have motion and support to excuse the absence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, how about now the agenda? Any additional?
I'd like to amend the agenda to include the approval of the minutes for the August 12th, 2015 meeting.
Do I have a support?
Sport.
I have a motion and support to approve minutes of August 12. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any other amendments to the agenda?
Did you want to table number G1?
Yeah, I do, yeah, we might, I was gonna table it when we get down.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll move.
I have a motion and support to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We had no quorum for last month's meeting. We do however have minutes from August 12th, the last meeting that was held with quorum. Any concerns, corrections, additions to the minutes from August 12th?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Support.
I have a motion and support to approve the minutes from the meeting of August 12th, 2015. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Citizen comments. No citizens, I guess, can have comments about citizens. Communications. Anybody have any communications? I do not have any. Unfinished business. Number 1, Foster Oil lot split. Larry?
That, yeah, I talked to Dave and Donna referred Jamie's information, and the information is not complete that we have. We do have the, a couple things, that we have the quit claim deed, but the prints that he sent in, not complete, so I think we're gonna table it. I believe, Jamie, you're gonna contact him and try to get the correct information, is that correct?
I talked to Dave about an hour and a half ago,
Okay,
and I left messages for Tom. Spoke to Tom last weekend, and I let him know very specifically. I
what
texted.
you need.
I wanted an 8.5 by 11 copy, electronic or hard copy, it didn't matter,
Yeah,
with the property dimensions, showing the lines and the splits, with the parent parcels and legal descriptions. What he came in was with the plot plan. The plot plan itself and the legal description is a little bit inaccurate in that there's 7/10 of a difference on the dimension of lot 30. The easement is undescribed as for what it's for, and there were some other problems with it. I talked to Dave about it, and it's really just about communication. I asked a couple of questions, and this has come up in the last 4 divisions that we've done through the city. And they've because they've all come from slightly different directions, whether it was the former mayor facilitating a salt dome or selling property on the north side of the DPW area. I'm having problems right now with the information that we need for Dollar General. And these are all great people and these are great projects and they're great for the city. But the way they're being handled, everybody's got little pieces of it, but we don't really have anybody following through with it. And here's a great case where we've got a project that's 99% done. We're holding up the financing because we don't have parcel numbers for it. So I've encouraged Dave to come back. He's going to do a special meeting to have you guys come together to get this done as soon as we can. But I've been trying for a month and a half, not less than 6 calls to Tom and Dave to get a hold of the attorney to find out who's drafting the deed from the city to Foster's. Who's recording it? Who's paying the freight on that? Who's doing the title work on it? Who's recording the survey on it to protect us, to protect Foster Oil, to make sure that things are completed. And what I've come back to council with in a little bit of frustration was that I would put together a punch list and come back and not usurp the authority of planning. Planning in our ordinance is required to bless the splits and combinations, and I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that we create a punch list that we're all using our talents and we're all making sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and we can avoid this on behalf of the Fosters. That's a great project that they've done there. This split and combination should have been done before they were ever given a building permit. That's how you get things done. You don't give the building permits until they do what they need to do, until the monies are escrowed, the taxes are paid, all the issues are dealt with, so that we don't have the frustration on their part or our part that we're coming into the end of the year. Splits and combinations are done. I don't do courtesy splits throughout the year. Assessments are made as of December 31st for the following year. So if we didn't have the split and combination done, the tax liens and the issues would carry through the next year. It's too much. And you're not the only ones. It's not just because it's a small town. I work full-time in Lapeer. I'm having exactly the same problems.
And, you know, and just to note, with Foster's and the time that I've been on the planning commission, it's been a while, and I don't know how many splits that we've done in combinations, and generally, if it's an individual in town that's splitting off, they show up promptly with all their stuff in order, and here you've got somebody with this amount of money, and I'm really disappointed at the way that they're going about everything.
Well, and I'm gonna defend them now. I'm gonna say that things have been handled so casually and so friendly, and I want to applaud them because I love the building they've got there, and I love what Dollar General is going to bring to town, and I'm excited for this town this year. It's really exciting to see the changes. My point is, we just need to get our heads together, have a punch list, and make sure that we're asking the questions at the right time. So I appreciate you listening to me.
I think that's a great idea, so we can have something in front of us that when we're doing one to make sure that we've got those things for you before we start considering it even so.
Yeah, he brought this up
That's a great
to
idea.
council, and we told him that he makes what he wants done, the proper protocol, and we make sure we follow it, so we don't have the glitches that we've been having.
What I'm going to ask, real simple in our punch list, is the surveys, the applications, any fees that have to be set aside. I'm going to ask that we ask for Bart's input for the DPW and road issues. If there's any sewer, water taps, anything, we're going to make sure that we have the taxes that are all compliant. We're going to ask, so everybody will have their role to look at it and sign off on it. So when it comes to you, as far as the city's concerned, we've done our due diligence and we've looked at everything. You've got my recommendation that there's no problems, and then you're going to look at the planning and zoning side, make sure that it fits with and conforms in terms of width to depth, different things like that. So we're a team, and to avoid the frustration, make sure that we can help Mr. Foster help himself. We're going to give him the tools and the checklist so that we're not looking silly, and they're just trying to do a good job. I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying this year with the splits, it's all coming together at the same time, and it's I have 2 properties in Lapeer doing exactly the same thing. Because I've got a city manager, a planner that's kind of out there. I got everybody coming in from different direction, but nobody taking the bull by the horns. Dave's great with tabling this, and he's great with coming together. He doesn't care that they'll have to pay a fee for a special meeting, and if that's done in a week, I'll be there for that meeting. You'll have my review of their legal descriptions. I'm sure everything's going to come together.
Yeah, I talked to Dave today. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I've talked to him.
Right, a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Thank you for your patience with
Trying to
me.
get this through. Okay, we'll table this until, just table it.
Well, you know, just before we move on, I just want to say this. I'm actually excited about what Jamie's putting together for us because, I mean, none of us are planners. We're just here serving our time,
Have that list
basically.
we
Right,
can check off and
exactly.
see that everybody
So,
had their part already.
and I thought-
Makes our job easier.
A couple of things that he mentioned was one, you know, that the police should know what's going on with, if we're doing something or we're having something built or we're, you know, changing whatever we're doing. Maybe you want to, the police chief should see it, and, because there might be something out there, he's gonna say, no, this is bad because of this. Or the fire chief, I mean, all these people, I mean, that's their job, and that's part of, that needs to be part of their job, to look at the stuff beforehand, before the paperwork's even filed, you know, I mean, and then when it comes to us, everybody's signed off on it, like you said, including Jamie.
surprises.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm saying, absolutely.
I'll make a motion, we table it.
Support.
We have a motion and a support to table the lot split for Foster Oil. All those in favor? Opposed?
Can I ask
Period.
basic 101 lot split, Foster lot split question? Why are we giving all this property to them for $10? I'm not, I wasn't in on this in the
Okay,
beginning.
this was done under the former mayor, as you know. And the quid pro quo, or what do you want to call it, was they were going to put up a brand new fence for us,
Okay.
which they have done. So the $10, that's just, if that's what it's on there, I don't have that piece of paper, but that's probably to process or whatever, but.
It just says, it's on the quitclaim deed.
Yeah, that's
is
to
what it
process
says.
that. No,
Okay.
that was, we give
Okay.
them 20
You give
feet
them
or
the feet
whatever
so
it
that
was
they'll
over
put up a
there.
nice
Yeah,
privacy.
and they tore down the other fence. and
Yeah,
put-
I figured there
yeah.
had to be a reason
Yeah, that was
why
kind of a
it was-
spitting handshake with
Yeah.
with Dan saying, hey, you know what, I'll give you 20 feet over here to put your dumpsters if you give us a new fence.
Well, that was basically about it.
Adequate.
So that answer, that's the answer.
Okay,
Do we
just
have
curious.
a,
Just
do we have a date that we want to redo that? You're talking, Jamie's talking
Well, I
about a
think
week or
we have,
something.
I
but-
think we have to wait till he gets, yeah, I don't think.
He's
he
gonna
gets
talk,
it.
Dave, I expect Dave to talk to the attorney, probably tomorrow or the next day. It gets back to, we need the deed, we need to know who's gonna take care of that, who's gonna record it. We wanna make sure everything's followed through with, and because of the nature of this and the exchange and the property, Foster's agreed to bear the costs for this. That's, again,
But at
it's
the
kind
same
of a.
time, don't we have to have notice?
Yeah, we have to have notice for a special meeting if we're gonna do it. That's the reason I
Well,
bring it
I-
up.
and Don will set that up under whatever protocol
Yeah.
in terms of notifying you. I would expect it to be soon.
I think it's, it's gonna be posted 15 days prior and.
He can't open that until this is done, can he? Can he open that gas station? without
Well,
this being done?
he's not gonna open it for a while.
His
He's
issue-
got some other problems. over there.
I'm talking about, from my perspective, it's about the taxation for the year 2016. As far as for our liability and his, because of the 20-foot strip of shared property, it's a good idea to get everything together, but there's nothing earth-shattering. As long as he meets the building codes and the health department, and that, I
I'm
don't
just
see any
curious.
problem
I
with that.
wasn't sure if that was gonna hold
No,
up.
I don't see a problem with that. I wouldn't want to slow him down. I just wanted to light a fire under him. I started about 2 months ago and got a call back from Tom. He's out of the country right now, so.
So we're just gonna hold on until further notice at this time.
I would expect it's gonna be a very short time frame.
Is there like a drop dead, I know you mentioned about having this done before the end of the year. Is there a drop dead date? We have to have this completed, with this meeting needs to take place by?
Between you and I have until,
Well, there's.
I want
us
it,
here.
I know, between you and I
Okay.
as a group.
I thought you were talking later.
I need to have it done before the end of the year. But the problem is every assessor in Macomb County that wants to have their lot splits done, they're turning everything into the land file because our property numbering is controlled through the county. there's an inter-county agreement that all of the parcel numbers that are created under the Sidwell system are numbered by the county through the land file department. So I'm trying to get that and coordinate that, because then I have to go in with the new numbers and create the split. But the other side of it is that the financing on this project as a consolidated site, under this new number, the bank is gonna be looking for that number. Because they're gonna be placing the liens and the mortgage information against that number as it's recorded.
So it has to be.
So step one, it's gotta be recognized by the county so that when the title work is done on it, they recognize that number and that number exists. So we're working to help them. We need them to help us so that we can help them.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Jamie.
So there won't be a meeting next week then? There won't be a special meeting next week?
Probably not, no,
Probably
because
not.
it takes,
No, you'll-
by the time we
Yeah.
get, find out when, and
There
then we
does
get
have
notice
to
out.
be, there does
Yeah.
have to be a notice?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If it can be done ideally before December starts, that's fine. We've got more than a month and a half there. I'm sure it'll come together. But I'm sure that if I didn't say anything, it wouldn't be coming together, so. Only because of how long we've been asking for it.
All right, item number 2 under unfinished business, the rezoning master plan.
Yeah, this is.
Mr. Wilson, you want to take?
Yeah, this
take
is
the
where
floor?
we have Adam Young here. Him and I have had some various conversations over the last couple months or so, and we made a few revisions. And I think there's one, and this is the map itself. And the original one, and I had you change that, and this is in the downtown commercial. And what's zone commercial now is to the first street here on the left, and down to the Shell station is zone commercial. So, and the revised one that I give you has that shown on there. But here's another thing, and I'm bringing this up to the planning commission itself. Since I wasn't on here when any of this was done, it was my understanding when you did the master plan that you wanted that zoned R1B with commercial overlay to the city limits. And that is correct, I believe. And so if you look at the last couple parcels right at the end where the church is, that is not zoned that way now. And if that was your intent, then that also should be changed to that R1B with commercial overlay.
On the
So,
south end, that's what we.
Yeah, I think that's what you wanted.
That's what we talked about on the south end. On the north end, again, there's a couple of properties that.
yeah, and that's gonna be zone light industrial
Right,
from the
right.
t-shirt place. So, you see what I'm saying there, Adam?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is a simple fix, that one. So if you're all in favor of that, then we'll have Adam make that change.
R1B is one family residential.
A
right?
single-family residential with 60-foot frontage. And normally, we have A1A, our R1A is 75 foot.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, but you still have 60-foot lots there, so I think that's why you guys zoned that way. I might be speaking out of turn, but since I wasn't here, but I assume that's what you want. So if that's okay with you, then we'll have Adam then just make that complete right to our city.
Southern boundary.
Yes, yeah.
Is there an advantage or a disadvantage to going with the smaller frontage, or?
Well, I think it accommodates some of your
There's a
frontage
couple
now.
lots that are already
That's
there.
why it was
Well,
done that way.
what's down there that's 60-foot frontage? And
Well,
down
not
the
right
south
there,
end?
nothing there,
No.
but you're
But closer
talking,
this way.
yeah, you've got houses from your city, from your commercial on down, that some have 60-foot lots. Yeah, so that's the reason why it's R1B instead of.
Between Potter and Benton, I think
Yeah,
there's
right,
one there.
yeah.
Couple of them there.
Yeah, there's a few bad in it, that's why it's in that way.
This is really scary for me and Charlie, this whole commercial overlay thing.
Well, you're way
Because
down on,
this could be a disaster for us.
you're way down on
If
Prince.
Fargo's south, no, the back end of
property.
Henley's property, the back end of Fargo's property, but up to our property,
Mhm.
our property.
Mhm.
So if Fargo or Henley sell their property and put up a restaurant or who knows what, I could be looking at dumpsters in my backyard, you know, because of this commercial overlay thing. It's very scary for us because we don't know what's we're gonna end up with back there.
Right, you never know what's coming
No,
up.
I never know what's gonna come.
Right, is this
I do have a question,
This is ours.
perhaps you can answer it.
This is mine.
Just sort of a generalization. So, just as an example, we have the property,
But,
which right now is the grocery store in town. And behind that, there's 8 acres of property. So you have, I'm not sure exactly how it's zoned right now, if it's commercial or residential, not that it matters. So we incorporate this property now into this commercial overlay. And so that ends up being attached to, which is, I believe, right here, there's like 8 acres, okay, behind here. So look, let's say down the road, this switches over to commercial automatically, this is commercial overlay. But let's say down the road, I come into town and I say, wow, you know, this is a really cool piece of property back here, this 8 acres, attached to the grocery store. I wanna buy the grocery store, tear the whole thing down, turn it into my front yard driveway from the road and turn this all back into residential. Would that be up to the planning commission?
I thought the purpose of that whole overlay thing was that it couldn't go back to residential once it went commercial.
Well, no, I thought the idea was to not allow it to go to multiple.
See,
That's
It was
what-
to
I thought
get
you
away
kinda
from
go
residential
either way.
multiple, it was to get away from the residential multiple on the main street.
I guess my question is it, like, say, down the road, is this something that the planning commission would be deciding, or are we basically setting this in stone by what we've done?
So, if, in that example, somebody purchases the property, there's a grocery store there right now, and they wanted to tear down the grocery store and develop the entire property for residential, under the current zoning, again, this is the underlying zoning district, the regulations are still in effect, and that being R1B, whatever uses that are allowed within the R1B are still allowable uses. So they could tear it down. and-
Even after it's switched from
Yes.
okay.
see, so that means the 8 acres that goes in behind there could go into still R1B.
Correct.
Yeah, so it don't eliminate, the only, I think, from what I understand, that if the commercial it's commercial overlay, if somebody commercial wants to put something in, but if we want to put a residential area back there, that can still be done.
Absolutely.
Because it's zoned R1B.
We still have flexibility anyways, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really my main concern, was I wanted to make sure that
Yep.
we're not locking, 20 years down the road, that they're not saying, oh man, boy, when they did this, they really, dropped the ball here, and now we're,
Right.
we're locked into whatever's there. You never know what's gonna happen.
One of the benefits is that, there are a lot of single-family residential properties in that overlay district or the proposed overlay district right now. And by doing this overlay, we're not making them non-conforming uses.
Yeah.
They still conform to the underlying district. And so that's a benefit. It doesn't, limit their ability to get mortgages and, if it would be destroyed, there's no issues with them being able to rebuild as a
Rebuild.
residential, as it was before.
So
to
it
the current
still,
ordinance.
still protects the residential
Yes.
out there, like if it's destroyed by a certain amount by fire, if they're non-conforming, you can't rebuild.
Right. Depending on
Yeah.
your non-conforming requirements, but in many
Yeah.
communities, that's the case.
Okay,
Could
That-
I ask more
Sure.
about the, so that would be those 3 properties that are currently zoned multiple family
Right.
on the west side, and then the 2 properties, including the church,
yeah,
on the east side there?
yeah, on the east side.
So it's the church, which is the big one, and then the other 3 properties are all single family?
Yes, on the
On the east side.
West side,
West
on the west side, yeah, they are.
Okay.
So all we're doing now is we're correcting what I think the master plan, which was approved both by planning commission and council, wanted, and that was to zone that completely to the city
Southern
limits,
border,
right, so that would correct the zoning map, then if you did that, so that would be one correction line.
So those 5 properties would become R1B, 1-family residential, with the C1 commercial overlay.
Correct, correct.
Now,
Okay,
there's a question though, it's like, okay, with the church, what is that zone as right now?
I
It's
don't.
on multiple family.
I think it's multiple family, I think because that's what it shows here. So I assume it is, which would, of course, makes it non-conforming in a sense.
Well, yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
same thing with
Yeah.
where I'm looking at this with, like, say, you know, the defunct gas station kitty corner to me.
Oh, yeah, that.
I mean, that was, I don't know what that was ever.
That might have been, I don't know whether that was under the prior zoning neighborhood commercial when we did this, what, 15 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So,
Is a church allowed in the R1B district?
No, well, no, wait a minute, yeah, I think it was. I think it was. But I'm not-
Do you have your book? Is that your book?
Yeah,
you know, because it's the same time too, you know, we have the lot that the party stores in.
R1A and R1B.
And that was changed to
It's
commercial.
all in there, there's one thing.
How do you change it to
Yeah,
R1B?
churches are-
Because that's
churches
what he
are
was
allowed.
zoned,
Yeah,
and we made him change to
yeah.
commercial.
So, we did confirm, churches are listed as a permitted use in the R1B,
Yeah.
so that church would not, by
Well,
changing
and
it.
that's, okay, that's where we're, like I say, we're looking at, this is an overall, we're looking at changing residents to R1B. And that's where you have to have the parcel that is the party store, which under the last master plan, he was zoned residential. And we made him change to commercial so that he conformed to the new city
No, we
master
made it
plan.
neighborhood commercial, yeah, you're.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
the
that
thing
was-
is we don't wanna change him back to R1B, so it would be on this
Well, you're not
overlay,
cha-
it's
you're
the
not-
residences.
You're not changing it to R1B, not his.
He'll stay commercial.
It's still commercial.
Right,
I
and
mean,
stay
It's
commercial,
commercial, he's qualifies now on a commercial overlay.
okay.
Is the only
So,
thing
but
that
we have to depict that on,
No,
correctly on the map, or no?
no, because no, I don't think you do, because it's under the, how this works, this will allow commercial overlay in there. And so,
So the commercial,
What
so
you're
he's already
saying-
covered then?
yeah, it's covered, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because by
So
definition,
any residences are gonna be changed to R1B,
yeah,
and any commercial is gonna stay commercial because we've got the overlay.
yeah, they're under the commercial overlay. Okay, now,
Leslie, do you have a question?
I was just gonna say, so the only thing that would need to change in that instance is if you had a multiple family
Right.
in this, in the commercial.
Yes,
overlay.
yeah.
Okay,
And-
gotcha.
And that's a situation too, where it is, if it is residential multiple, does it not stay residential multiple until it's sold, and then it has to go to R1B?
yeah, well, I don't think, there's no multiple there now, is it,
Oh,
on
yeah.
Main Street? Oh, yeah, you have the apartments, yeah, you have the apartments down there, that old building, yeah, that's right, it still is, yeah.
Well, there's the house right.
Right here.
corner of-
It's for sale, yeah.
One up just, one up for sale.
Oh, those are.
And that's the thing is, it's up for sale right now, and if it
They're
goes for sale
advertising
right
it
now,
to-
they're
it
advertising
rented.
it as 4 units. So
If it doesn't sell until after this is done,
if he sells it before,
right.
He's all right.
then he's gonna be all right. If he sells it 15 minutes after we've got this, then he's got a problem. So whoever the property owner is, you know, we get this taken
Needs
care
to
of,
know.
needs to be
So,
brought to light on what's happening there.
I know that property's been for sale in the last 5 years a couple times. I don't know if it's actually changed hands or not,
I
but
don't know.
so one of those 3 properties on the west side of Main Street in the south part of town is,
Not there.
no, it's actually right here.
The north-
But one of those
Right.
is down there, there's apartments down there.
Oh, yeah, they're right.
The
You're
northwest
right.
corner of Benton and Main Street.
That's one of
No,
them.
but there is apartments down there on
okay,
the south end.
one of those 3, one of these 3 down here is an apartment building. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No, it's actually a real small parcel.
Yeah, that old,
No,
The
it's
old
up-
shop, right?
Not down there.
yeah.
Well, no,
The one that used to be like a,
I don't know if
Across
it's
from
one
the
of the
church.
3.
It's across from the church.
it's like a
Yeah.
mini mall,
But
isn't
is
it?
that one of those 3 lots? I don't know if that's.
Isn't it like a mini mall at one
Three
time
lots.
and then they turned it into apartments or
It was
something?
actually started
The
out
one
as
next door
a
to
garden,
the-
garden shop.
There's garden,
Across
the
from
small
the doors are on
ones
the side?
Yeah, Mint started it
Yeah,
as
Mensa's, right?
a garden supply store.
What about that building that's?
I don't know if it's one of those 3 lots or not. It's either one of that, it's either the north of those 3 lots or the next one over. I'm not sure.
It's got the big parking lot in the front, right?
Yeah, it probably is one of those green lots.
It's right
yeah.
here.
That's right across from the church.
Yeah. Well, you've got Sawyer's
It's,
at,
it's like right across from the access road for the church.
one and that one, and that was Sawyer's.
So that would be something to consider. The one that you talked about on Benton, that's not That's outside of the overlay.
Right on the corner there?
The corner of Union and Benton?
No, Main Street.
The northwest corner of.
Right across from the church. It's right there.
The northwest corner of
Yeah.
Main and Benton?
Yep.
Well, that's shown as part of the central business district.
Yeah,
for
that's,
sale right now.
that's the central business
Yeah,
district.
so that's not a problem.
Gershaw, where Gershaw lives, that's
Right.
central business.
So
district.
central business can have multiple family? Is our, because, is that what that means then?
Yeah, because that's multiple, I mean.
Because you could have
That's-
apartments up above.
That's not necessarily being changed probably, I think, is mainly right.
That's what we're saying?
changing the
So that's
residential
those
areas,
Okay,
yeah.
so in the central business, you could have,
So that house is okay?
Well, is it that anything on the MIT corridor that is residential multiple gets changed to residential? And if it's in the central business district, it goes to commercial?
Yeah, what
Apartment
happens
over
to
here.
that 4-unit apartment
Is this a house?
is in the
house here.
central business district, it's a 4-unit
Well,
house
there is,
with
but
4
the house
apartments.
is actually
It's for
in,
sale.
right,
Okay.
side of that lot.
Richmond.
Can they leave it that way because
Yeah.
it's sold?
So the question was, it's an apartment building right now, it's zoned, it is currently zoned central business district, right?
Yes.
And it's proposed to continue to be zoned central business district.
Yeah.
Yeah, down to,
So he could leave it,
So you can change occupancy, you can change ownership
Mhm.
of a use, and it would still be considered a non-conforming use. Now, if they would abandon it,
Mhm.
and typically your ordinance would talk about how long, what constitutes
Mhm.
abandonment, and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. If it's abandoned, then they wouldn't be able, if it's not allowed
yeah.
in the.
Well, I mean, just looking at the map here, I guess that doesn't really change because the overlay doesn't start until south of Sabin on that side of the street anyway, right?
Oh, that's right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it's already zoned.
Commercial, there's a gas station and everything.
So that house, actually Gershaw's house is already non-conforming use, is that what you're saying?
Well, and that's the question then is, the other houses that fall in that are non-conforming and they're in the central business district. So if they sell, can they sell as a residence or do they have to sell as commercial?
Okay, can
It's sold
you
as residential. just
give me that question again?
Gary Sandals' place there.
Yeah, let's see, Gary Santos' old place, it's a
Just sold
residence,
less than a
Yep.
year
it's
ago.
residential. And here, it's in the central business district,
Okay.
it's non-conforming. If somebody was to
No,
sell it,
I think central business can have.
either
house.
or,
You can have a single
Is
family.
that change of
house.
ownership or change of use that dictates that though?
Yeah, I did just see it there.
yeah.
I thought it was change of use that dictated when
When
it
they
came in or out,
changed it.
not change of ownership.
Again, typically,
As long as it
change
was
of
for the same
owner.
use.
In other words, you can say
Does not
a
trigger-
residence,
Yeah.
you just keep changing it, but if they turn around,
Oh.
they demolish the house, they can't put another house up.
Right,
Exactly.
Once you go out, once you go to commercial with that property, you can't go back to residential again.
Resi-
That's what I believe.
Residential dwelling units
Mhm.
can be in central business district. Oh, well, same as, the house right on the corner there, uses, that's commercial too.
So the one that I would be concerned with is that if we, again, talking about the south part of town there, that's currently zoned multiple family, it has the church, and across the street from the church is a multi-unit building there. That multi-unit building, if you would change that to R1B, would then become non-conforming.
What,
And that would mean they would not be able to expand, so on and so forth.
Transfer ownership.
No, it could transfer ownership, it could stay non-conforming, a new owner could purchase it, continue to use it, but they probably wouldn't be able to expand upon it.
They probably have a hard time financing it too. I would
They
imagine.
might have difficulty financing it, because sometimes the mortgages, or mortgagors have restrictions on that.
No.
so how would you remedy that?
Well, I'm looking at your future land use map for your master plan, and it does show those properties, those 3 on the west side and the 2, including the church on the east side, for multiple family residential. I guess the question would be, do you envision those potentially becoming commercial moving forward?
I wouldn't. In the near future, I doubt it.
Yeah. Your, and even shown on your master plan too, there's, in your master plan, it shows the proposed zoning changes. And it does show our overlay district extending to those properties, but not including those properties. Not including those
Oh, it
5
don't include
properties.
those.
It does not.
So it's not to the, now how would you accommodate the church then?
Well, the churches are,
Church can be in that.
the church can be there right now,
Yeah,
It can be
under the
either
R1B.
Yeah.
or the commercial probably, right?
yeah. Yeah, the church can be an R1B, that's right, it can be.
Right.
That's where we had that going all the way to the southern border.
So, yeah, this is, again, from your master plan, and it kind of shows the proposed zoning changes. Again, it shows our R1B with overlay going in there, but it stops short of those 5 properties down there and keeps those as multiple family residential.
Well, okay, then the question is, do we wanna
What he
leave it?
has their right to what they've done.
Another, just leave it the way it is?
Yeah.
You leave it the way it is, the multiple family unit that's there is zoned appropriately, the church that's there is zoned appropriately. The only thing that it wouldn't do is it wouldn't allow them to
Turn into
develop
commercial property.
into commercial. Now, they could always come back and petition the city for rezoning to be part of the overlay.
Come to the ZBA and we say,
No,
okay.
come to the planning commission,
Oh, planning.
and ultimately city council would have to adopt that based on a recommendation of the planning commission. They have that ability, not to say that you have to approve it,
They have to make their case, right?
they would have to make their case.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was my big fear, was that, I didn't know when we met with the last person who, I forget who it was, but all of a sudden I was sitting there thinking, are we like tying, our hands 20 years down the road if something changes? But I mean, I guess we can always, I mean, that's,
Yeah. So you're recommending just leave that?
I think after looking at the master plan and then kind of finding out that one of those lots actually is multiple family,
So-
I think maybe we should just keep it as
So we'll
is.
just go the way that you got it right
Yeah.
now?
I would suggest that.
Everybody,
agree with
that's okay then? Okay, the other thing I would like to address is the time business stays open. Now, I did check with, I checked with the gas station and I did check with the party store. The gas station, I think, closes at 9, but the party store on Saturday stays open till 11. Now, so what we had originally here is that they stay open till 10. So, what do you think we should do with that then? Because we do have the party
Well,
store
and I
on
think,
Saturday
what
staying
was the
open.
opening time too, because it's sticking in my head a little bit because of
It's
this.
shown on page 5.
Yeah, on
on
the one I give you in your packet.
Yeah, under item F2. So
6:30.
we're proposing a number of conditions for commercial development, and one of them, item 2, is hours of
Yeah,
operation.
because what time do the donut girls open?
4.
4, but they're in the
But they're
commercial,
in
the
they're commercial, so that don't apply.
Okay, so now, well, and this is just goes to the past, but if you go back to when Phil had the party store by me, he used to open at 6, because he had his coffee club in there.
Yeah.
So, if this owner should
Now,
turn.
what do they open now? They don't open until 6:30.
No, they're not, I don't even think they're open that, the
No.
bar store?
Yeah, no,
But I'm just saying is if we turn around and we do this, then we're restricting somebody down the road. Say, this guy that owns the party store turns around and sells it, and another guy opens it up and he wants to start serving coffee and donuts in the morning along with whatever. Because like I said, Phil had a pretty good following at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, some traffic comes through.
Yeah,
That was before the Donut Girls, so there wasn't.
before the drone girls moved down to
Or
Main
even if it
Street.
was a
the
breakfast
party store,
place. I don't
the party store opens at 6:30, Monday through Friday, and Saturday it opens at 7.
Okay,
Now, I didn't check Sunday, but I assume it's 7 as well.
right.
So, what you're saying, if we put that at 6:30, we might be
You may,
restricted.
I don't know. I mean,
But,
it's-
well, you live there. What do
It's
you, I
not,
mean,
it's not a, there's-
no big deal to you.
no, because you know what, it's the people that are there at 10:30 at night that are stopping in and peeling out with their pizza, the ones that are making the noise.
Well, he stays open, Saturday's when he stays open to 11, so,
On occasion.
well, well, I don't know, that's what they told me, so that's, because I didn't.
I'm not even sure about that 6:30 in the morning thing.
No, I
No,
know,
he's-
I go get a newspaper at 6:30 in the morning,
And they're always open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Because I remember,
But
Driving to
Saturday,
work?
I gotta wait till 7.
maybe this, because I was
So
probably
I have
by
an
there at
extra cup of
6:25
coffee,
maybe or
wait.
something.
Okay, now, so,
Well, I wouldn't be against 6 o'clock. I think that just rounds it off nice myself, 6 to 11.
6 to 11.
just change it 6 to 11?
That's not a big deal, a half hour is not a huge deal, really.
And what we did is Larry, you suggested that we provide some flexibility
Yeah.
even within that too.
Yeah,
And you see kind of how we did it, you
Right.
know, upon recommendation of the planning commission, the city council can kind of vary from those hours of operation. But again, we just want to make sure that whatever would be done is reasonable based on adjacent residential uses
see,
and areas.
we looked at it, I didn't want to go to have a public hearing, I said, well, if we could have the time, and then it could be changed if they came to a planning commission or council. We
Okay,
could change
you know,
it.
we leave it at that, I don't care, that's fine.
So-
And you know what, if people
but I
want to
didn't
start
want-
open at 5:30, I
but
don't
I
think
didn't
anybody's gonna say anything, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he's not following the master plan.
But I didn't want to go, I didn't
Instead
want
of
to have a
following
public
zoning.
hearing, that's all, because, you know,
Right.
you get a big hassle when you do
Okay,
that.
no,
So what do you think then?
I say, well, leave it at 6:30, and
And what in the evening?
the 11 o'clock is fine.
Just leave it that way?
Yeah, just leave it as it is, I
Yeah.
guess. It was just, you know, discussion, you know.
Yeah, and then, we'll
I mean, the
still,
Arctic Queen's open till 11 in the summer, right?
Sometimes,
imagine
it
it
depends
is.
on what's
That's
happening.
right,
yeah.
You know, like I said, there's the party store, there's times where I wandered over there at
Is it,
Sometimes
quarter
in
to
the
10
summer.
and they're closed.
well, years ago, I used to have a soft ice cream store like that, and sometimes we were open till 11, but on a hot night, I didn't get out of there until maybe 12:30. You know, so, okay, that answers that question. Now, and, let's see, what else did I have here? Okay, the one, Adam, I'll have you answer this question. It's 150.51 in our code book, and we have the districts, and we have R1A, R1B, RM is mobile, MH is mobile, or mobile home parks. C1 is the central commercial district, and then light industrial. Now, we don't address the C1 with commercial overlays. Should that be adjusted on that? I don't know if you got that in your copy, but I have it right here, so.
You're talking about the schedule and regulations?
Yeah,
Yeah, page-
it's
page
150.051 right here, this one here. We got every district here, and the
Okay,
commercial-
the listing of districts.
Yeah, listing of districts. Now, should we have another listing for the this C1,
I see.
with, you know, where we have our R1B with commercial overlay?
Yes.
And
we
then
sh-
have it defined, well, we have it
Yes,
defined.
we should certainly
Address that.
revise
Yeah,
section 150.050
well, yeah, 51,
to .051
yeah.
to essentially delete.
Well, you can't, we do have a commercial district unless, of course, this is
Oh, I see.
commercial districts. Now, maybe that would incorporate it
You're
under
right.
that.
No, you're right. It says the general commercial districts, which would include your C1 overlay and your CBD, the way that.
So this would be all right.
So it's okay.
Okay, all right, that answers that question.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, now, we got that question out of the way. R1B with commercial overlay, is this, have we got it clearly defined? Is that defined, I think it's defined in here, so I think that's okay, how we got it defined?
Yes, I think so. It's defined on the map, the zoning map,
Yeah,
and it talks about, and that's you know, if you see kind of the section A for the commercial overlay,
Mhm.
it talks about the intent of the commercial overlay.
So that defines it. I thought,
Item B then talks about where is it applicable, and it talks about its relationship to the underlying zoning district.
mhm,
And then
okay,
item C refers to the boundaries
yeah.
in the zoning map,
Yeah.
as it says.
So that's clear enough.
Yeah.
And, okay, and then we did address the zoning map, we got that out of the way. Okay, and on the schedule of regulations, we eliminated the neighborhood commercial, and we changed that to C1 commercial overlay. And that addresses all the issues of commercial, neighborhood commercial and the vehicular, well, which we originally had.
Right, so
And
what
that-
we, yeah. what
That
we-
addresses the structures, setbacks.
Right.
everything.
Yep, so you can see in the schedule of regulations there that we deleted the C1
And C2.
and C2
Mhm.
and called C1 now the commercial overlay. So
Okay.
essentially, the commercial overlay, in terms of the restriction, setback, size,
Addresses both.
are gonna follow your former standards of the C1
What? Okay,
neighborhood. 20,000 square feet size, 60-foot width,
yeah.
so on and so forth.
Well, that, when I looked through this, that seems to address all the issues I had. Now, does anyone else have issues that they would like to address?
I had a question
Bob, I'm
about,
sorry, I don't mean to take over.
No, go
Oh.
ahead. That's-
Okay.
I'm still reading actually.
yep, I had a question about the one thing was, okay, so the no vehicular area, so that's all within the, commercial overlay.
What page are you on?
4.
Okay.
So,
Because the, and that's where maybe I just need my memory refreshed about what we, because I know we talked about the garages on Boardman. But does that mean,
Oh, on Boardman, the new
Yeah,
garage?
'cause
Well,
we're-
that's in the commercial district.
right, but we no longer have a vehicular,
No, we don't.
and that's because,
Well, that's because this is gonna be combined now under the
The overlay.
C1 commercial, I'm sorry, R1B commercial overlay. So that's kind of being incorporated in all of that.
so
Instead
does
of
that,
having-
so the vehicular types of things that can be done, and he outlines that here where the types of things that can be done
Yeah, so,
are like what's at the Shell station
yeah.
right now.
And I keep saying this, but I'm doing this because I think that was the intent
Yeah.
when you did the master plan. And I say again, I wasn't here when you did that, but.
Yeah,
but
and that's what I'm trying to like refresh my memory here with
Yeah,
what we talked, but that also doesn't include like the heavy equipment sales and things like that, that would be like somebody selling bulldozers on Main Street, right, on the overlay?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay, and what about the mini warehouses, the self-storage facilities, because I didn't see that listed anywhere in
that
the
is.
businesses, so like that could be,
Yeah. So the mini warehouses would be an allowable use, special land use. No, I'm sorry. Yes, or a conditional land use.
We do have
That
that.
would be allowed in the overlay,
okay,
a mini warehouse.
About the
There
hill.
are restrictions, it's on page 4.
that's what I'm looking at there,
Yeah,
okay.
so that would be allowed in the overlay. And just to kind of back up a little bit, it's interesting because your zoning ordinance text had established a C2 vehicular overlay district. Yet your zoning map had never established land that's zoned C2.
So it wasn't used.
Right.
Because we-
Right, it wasn't used.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing here in this commercial overlay is essentially we took all of the uses that were listed as being allowed in the C1 and all the uses that were listed as being allowed in the C2 and kind of merging them together, really, and creating just one district. And it does kind of make sense because you never even had a C2 zone property anyway. So
Okay.
we're kind of just doing this different approach.
Yeah.
Because this, I don't know, is this just getting nitpicky when you say, it's like, I mean, I imagine the mini warehouses or somebody selling heavy equipment, that's definitely at odds with what we have listed in here as something that's going to work within
Yeah,
the feel of the city.
Yeah, I think,
Along Main Street.
yeah, I think.
So that makes me think of like light industrial really is where that kind of thing should
Yeah.
be.
Well, light industrial.
That's north of the
There is
town.
down on the north side of town, north
Well,
side.
I think what she's saying though is that
That's
we don't want somebody to tear down a house and put up a mini storage
No.
warehouse on
Well,
Main Street.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Well, they need at least an acre to do that.
yeah. And we got a mini storage right down
Oh, yeah.
south.
We have a car wash, too.
Or north anyway, and a car wash down north too, so. But, well, how I put this together and been working with that, I based it on what your intent was when you did the master plan.
You know, you keep saying that, Larry, but let me just say this. When I was going through these meetings with Dan, the intent was to give the property owners with a house on Main Street some flexibility in being able to sell their house,
Yeah.
not just as a house, maybe, and some of the houses wouldn't have a problem selling. Some of the houses are a little bit more run down, and it might be better, they might have more opportunities to possibly sell, where somebody would plan on coming in and turn it into, say, an office
Office.
type, you know, like a real real estate office, or, yeah, exactly, a professional, exactly.
But like,
That- that
I don't
would be
think the
real
intent
intent,
when we were talking about this last year was to have you know, mini storage houses
No.
and strip mall of, you know,
Absolutely
selling,
No,
you know, big
Right.
equipment or doing that. So it's just
Another-
like, they just kind of seem at odds when
Yeah.
you,
Well,
Yeah, you know-
what do we got on Main Street?
tear off your own
About a
car
mile?
lines. Pardon me?
We got about a mile on Main Street?
Yeah, I think 9/10 of a
Heavy
mile.
equipment places need
Well,
big areas.
yeah.
some of these things probably will never happen anyway. but,
Right.
Yeah, so,
Well,
Acre or two.
And is it still comes before planning when something comes up, right? I mean, just.
but
like
here's the thing, if somebody buys that property,
They're following the
it's,
guidelines.
yeah, it's
As long
awfully
as they're
hard.
filed,
Yes.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's hard to turn them down.
Exactly,
If
right,
they're,
you can't.
if they're proposing a legitimate a building that's under the current
Yeah, you really can't.
process.
Well,
I
that
don't see how we
let's
do it.
leads me to the other one here where you were talking about sizes of spaces. And you list the higher spaces, let's see where, or the bigger spaces. Is that on 5? Yeah, on page 5.
Yes.
That number
Schedule
1, the
regulations.
gross floor area.
Mhm.
But then in your comments, the, given the character of M19, you may wish to have smaller
Yeah,
business sizes.
so
That
you,
made sense to me.
Yeah, well, especially with this,
Shall not exceed.
Except what?
especially with,
Shall not exceed 10,000 square feet.
especially with this right here, this giant building we have
How
across the
many
street.
square feet is that? I just, so I have the one next door.
It's
So
145 by 92 or something like that, whatever that is. I forget exactly.
which one is that, the gas station?
Yeah, the new gas
That's under
station.
construction. So what, that 5,000 square feet, individual buildings and shopping centers to 10,000 square feet, those are currently written into your former, or your current C1
yeah.
neighborhood commercial district. And so my suggestion to you, your C2 doesn't have any size restriction. Knowing that this is kind of a mixed use corridor here that does have residential uses, my suggestion is that you keep a minimum building size. You could increase it from 5 to 10,000 and from 10 to 20,000 respectively. So 10,000 for an individual or 20,000 for a shopping center. But at the same time, if you are kind of happy with, if you really want to be a little bit more stringent, and that is one way to limit the mini warehouse, because nobody is in there, you're not going to put up a mini warehouse that's 5,000 square feet. It just doesn't make
Right.
economic
Not
sense.
enough.
But that's a way to kind of
Control it,
restrict and control.
yeah.
Right, well, I did notice that the one, it said that the aisles have to be 25
Yeah.
4 feet wide and-
between the buildings or whatever, so.
So it's
I mean, that's
not
pretty
practical.
restrictive right there, that
Right.
you're gonna have, if you have a 100-foot wide
Yeah.
lot, you only
Yeah.
have, 25 feet down the center, you only have, 40 feet on each side, or 35 feet on either side to
Right.
have your building.
So that, but hearing your comment about, a mini warehouse, that seems like could be intensive.
I'm just trying to keep some of the
then I don't
character of the town, I think was some of our intent.
Well, we have one already. Then there's
Yeah.
one just outside of town. I mean, you know, they kind of popped up like weeds 20 years ago around
But does
here.
does it limit us to
No,
keep
you-
it smaller like that, or not? I don't know what you guys
I mean,
think.
Stop it.
limits are not bad though. I mean, that's really what we want. We want to control whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I think that everybody that was sitting here when we discussed this, that was in our mind's eye. That was what we were thinking. That, you know, here's this person has an older house and they'd like to sell it. And boy, look at this. Here's a dentist that he's just thinking about opening up a dental office. You know, with, you know, I mean, it's very low impact on the neighborhood. They basically show up at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're out of there by 6 o'clock in the evening. It's well kept up. He probably comes in and redoes the whole exterior of the building. It's got beautiful landscape and everybody's real happy. I mean, the last thing that anybody wants is to see somebody tear down 3 houses and turn it into, you know, like I said, pull off your own auto parts kind of a thing, you know, which obviously I know it's not in what we have right now, but
So
that's like the
what
worst
would
case
you
scenario.
suggest then that to kind of limit maybe the expansion of something like that?
Well, one of the things you could do is keep that size restriction
Mhm.
the way that you had it written in the C1 district, the 5,000 square feet maximum for an individual building or 10,000 square feet for a planned shopping center. Another thing that you can do, I think that's probably definitely something we should do, the 5 and 10.
Mhm. And that's would change it from 10, you got 10 and 20. we
I have
change
10
it
and
from
20 right
5
now.
5, you change it from 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Yeah,
5 to
because that would limit them doing anything like that.
Okay.
Because, you know, because it's just a small little town, it's,
Yep.
you know. and so-
The other thing that you can do is just pay close attention to which ones are permitted and which ones are special land uses.
Mhm.
So, for example, and this is probably a good thing, that the mini warehouses is already listed as a special land
Special.
use. Meaning that they would require a public hearing. So they would have to come, and it's not just comply with the ordinance and you're in. It's comply with the ordinance and come before the planning commission and public hearing, and you still have discretion.
Now, is
over
that
use.
anything that states special use has to go through that procedure? Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yeah, anything under item E.
Okay, all right, okay.
So what you
So
can
You would have
do,
some control then. You'd have
So
control.
it's already controlled a little bit then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
but what you should do then is look under the principal uses permitted under subsection D and make sure that everything that you see there is basically that you're comfortable with somebody just coming before you, and as long as they meet setbacks and things like that, you basically have to say yes. So I'm looking, you know, number 1, retail business, number 2, personal service, number 3, office, exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Number 4, a standard restaurant, so we're not talking about fast food there. Hotels and motels, you know, maybe that's,
Does standard restaurant include bar? Or is that a whole different kind of thing? Just the question.
I think a standard restaurant it'd be like Mom's, but they'd have beer and wine or liquor.
could.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about, when
Okay.
you say a standard restaurant.
So, you know, that could be something that is
Yeah.
more appropriate under a special land use.
That's what Phil wanted to put in years ago, he talked about it, you know, years ago down there.
A hotel and motel, maybe you'd want to, just for additional protection, make that a special land use. Automobile
see.
maintenance
because that's
facility,
limited.
number 10.
So that way, by making these, all the things that we're nervous about, special land use,
Then we can
control
restrict
it, right?
it, now
We
we
have
can have.
more.
the
Bed and breakfasts are special use. I would think hotel.
Well, that was a
really
commercial
should be
district,
too.
commercial though, so we could, that,
Maybe a bed and breakfast ought to be something that gets moved to permitted.
Yeah.
If I'm looking, you know, hearing kind of your concerns, if I'm looking at these, I would say, number 4, standard restaurant, might be better in a special land use. Number 5, a hotel and motel. Automobile maintenance, automobile repair.
Yep.
I think those 3 for sure.
well,
And we could move the bed and breakfast to permitted.
To what, permit?
Permitted.
Permitted, yeah.
To a principal permitted use.
No, okay,
Yeah, I don't think anybody would object to that
no.
on Main Street.
No, because you're maintaining it.
It's still the character of the home pretty much
You are.
remains the same.
And those, and the other ones that are currently listed as a special land use would continue, so automobile service, fast food, a mini warehouse, the motor vehicle or equipment dealers with outdoor sales space, a car wash, accessory buildings.
Okay,
I think those changes would give you
Would address
enhanced
that
protection.
issue.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I feel much better.
Yeah, I think that's,
Cover our butts.
that's why we gotta have input from everyone.
I feel better if you feel better.
Okay. Anything else now? We think we got all the issues addressed, because the public hearing comes next November the 11th, my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Here, we're gonna see a whole.
Week before.
11/11/11? No, you're not.
11 is when I was born. It was actually Armistice Day.
Hmm.
You know, I used to get, they used to have holidays like that, because I'm from Canada. And when I was real young, I thought they were giving me a holiday for my birthday. Then I got older and I realized I was misinformed all this time.
It was fun while it lasted though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 11,
So you're
11,
gonna be here next month?
Well, I won't be mayor.
Well, I know.
I think he's gonna be sitting in his chair, I think,
Yeah, I
yeah.
Somebody else will probably be sitting here, I think, maybe.
And yeah, somebody was sitting down, different sitting down there too. But, well, yeah, we'd have to
We'll see.
point. But,
Could be a whole bunch of different faces here.
yeah. So, anyway, yes, it'll change a little bit.
So you think you got those all?
So we think
down there?
we're okay now? So Adam, what will you do? Send kind of a revised thing now based on what you had
Yes.
discussed tonight?
Yes.
And then we'll have it for the special hearing? And-
Right,
Yeah,
so-
public hearing, I should say.
I'll make these changes, give you a revised copy, and that would be like the public hearing copy. That
Okay.
would, you didn't make sure to make that available here at City Hall.
Mhm.
I can work with your clerk, whoever typically takes care of those notices, to help you draft the public hearing notice language that
Yeah.
you can send to the paper for publication.
Yeah, now, we got a limitation on, and I put dates down here. It goes in what we call the Voice, that's our kind of the local paper for the area. And it has to be to them on a Friday for them to publish it on the following Wednesday.
Okay?
Okay, and we also have to have a 15-day notice prior to the public hearing. And I gotta check the dates there, because if we put it in on the 16th, which is this Friday, then it's in the paper the 21st, and then I think 15 days come out to 11/5. If we go to the following week,
Yes, it would have to come out the 28th, right, is what you're saying?
yeah, if we put it, it'd have to come out the 28th, and if you add,
So you'd have to have it done by the 23rd.
you know,
Okay, is that what you just said?
yeah, and
The
so. now-
publication on the 28th would be fine.
Yeah, so if.
It's exactly 15
Well,
days.
It's
that would be-
exactly 15 days to the 11th?
Oh, no, that's 14 days, from the 28th to the 11th is 14 days,
From the
isn't
20,
it?
Was
Oh,
it?
no,
check
no,
it.
31 days,
31
yeah, we got,
if you include,
you include the
The event
28th,
itself,
if you include the 28th.
and include the
it's-
11th
that's the
itself, it's a full
15th
day, yeah.
That's the 15th day,
Yeah.
I guess we could get by with that, couldn't we, or
We
not?
can squeak it in, yeah, I think so.
We'll
I think
squeak
be
by.
okay.
Well, you don't have the day's almost over, your meeting's at 6:30.
That's right.
It's tight.
The day's over at 6.
Because I don't, if you could
Business
get,
day's
if you
over
could
at
get it to
6.
us by Friday, that'd be great, we'd put
Sure,
it in a
right.
week sooner.
Well,
But if you can't, we'll go the next,
we have to actually put the zoning changes in the paper or just the
no,
notice
no,
of the
no,
meeting?
just a public, notice the public hearing.
Yeah, okay.
But it has to be worded a certain way.
Right, okay.
And I want to make sure that the day that the notice is put in the paper, that somebody sees it and comes to City Hall that very day, that you don't say, oh, we don't have the language ready yet.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I want to
okay.
prevent.
All right.
So on the 28th, I mean, really the deadline for the notice is the 23rd, so that you
Right.
can get it to the paper. The deadline for the revised language is the 28th. but I'm gonna get them both to you by the 23rd.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, then, we'll figure on next, not this Friday, but the next Friday. And, yeah, because it has to, yeah, so I did put dates down here, and I didn't know if I could count that, the 11th. If I can count the 11th, I guess we're
Yes.
okay. But
I count it as a
I wasn't
day.
sure about that.
If the meeting's in the evening,
Yeah.
I count that as a day.
Okay, all right,
All right, well, that'll work.
that'll work. Okay, then, so if you'll get make the revisions, get the language for our clerk,
Yes.
and then we'll get that, and we'll get this on the way.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So,
Then what will we have to talk about?
well, you know,
We'll never have a
how long,
quorum then.
3 years maybe?
Wow.
It's been a
About
long,
3 years.
yeah, been a long time, so
We might have to go to every other month.
we might have to,
We're
because
gonna do
We
it
might
quarterly
have
for
4
a
or
while.
5 people applying for
You know, we
mini
did do
storage
that at
permits.
times.
Who
Yeah, we were
knows?
quarterly for
Yeah.
about 2 years.
Yeah.
Something like
So,
that. We're doing quarterly.
Wouldn't be the end of the world.
so I'll make a motion that we agree to the zoning as proposed or amended.
With changes.
Yeah, with the changes, and then to proceed for the public hearing on Wednesday, November the 11th, 2015, okay?
Did you get all that?
No, he's got it written down.
I got it written down.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna get that from you too.
Okay.
I'll support that.
I have a motion and support to approve the zoning ordinance as amended with a public hearing on Wednesday, November 11th, 2015. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay.
Are you done now, Larry?
Yeah, I'm done.
Marvelous.
I'm done. November 3rd, I'm gonna be done permanently as mayor.
All right, well, I guess we'll move on to new business.
Well, Adam, thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yes, my pleasure. It was great meeting you all.
Thanks,
And,
Okay, and I'll talk to the clerk in the morning, and Donna, by the way, is the clerk, so.
Yes.
Give her a call, and,
sounds good. Let her know that I'll be in touch with her.
yeah,
I have some extra copies of these maps, might as well leave them for you.
sure.
thank you.
Appreciate
your help.
Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
We got any new business that we'd like to bring before the planning commission tonight?
No.
None? Comments?
I'm glad it's getting near completion. Okay,
Agreed.
and that's all I have.
Yeah, yeah, we appreciate all your help, Larry.
Thank you.
We were a little stuck and didn't know where to go, so,
I gotta move
yeah,
now.
we appreciate that. I certainly, as a chairman, wish to thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Anything else, Steve?
Ditto, thank you so much, Larry.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Larry, for everything.
Okay,
Mark?
Done a real good job.
well, thank you, Mark.
I think you've really done a real good job.
Okay.
Leslie?
Jumped in at a hard time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I was trying to get it done before I run out of my term as
We
mayor.
run out of time.
Getting close.
Kurt?
Yeah, thanks Larry for all the help, and Eric, thanks for coming back to help us on the planning commission to get this hammered out, and if things go the way that I think, this will be my last day sitting in this seat.
Yeah, you'll be on the council, hopefully.
So,
Okay.
it's been a fun ride, it's only been 13 years that I've been doing this, so. This is the second master plan.
Yeah, I was with you when we worked on the other one.
And, the master plan and zoning ordinances, that switch on zoning ordinances, but condominium ordinances, subdivision ordinances. Those are a lot of things that left us scratching our head, and which way do we move forward? And like I said, you know, we're just common citizens working for chump change here. This is community service, I always joke. It really is, you know, because we don't do this for the pay. I
Yeah,
was talking to somebody just last week, and they said, why would you want to, you want to go to city council for the job? I said, it's not a job, it's, it's community service, you don't do it for the money, that's
I
for
like the big
sure.
cities where you make 80,000 a year and get a car.
No.
Everybody in town would be running for office.
Yeah.
I guess I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
We have a motion and support to adjourn. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Nice meeting you, man.
yeah.